Hello everybody, welcome back to my Grand Nexus park project in Planet Coaster 2, where I am building out a theme park centered around this idea of this Grand Nexus being the kind of center of this lost civilization, the portal that brings you to different realms, the different realms being represented by the different areas of the park. In the first few episodes, we worked on the entrance and kind of like the center hub of the theme park. If you missed those, feel free to go back in the playlist and watch how we built the start of this park and kind of grounded where the storyline's coming from in terms of the theming of this park and how it's all going to work out, which briefly, the idea behind the park is that the Grand Nexus is this place where you kind of you're able to travel through realms and be transported to different worlds. The center of this kind of whole idea is this lost civilization where it's heavily themed with ruins and kind of like jungle aspects. So the idea is that like you stumbled upon this old civilization with lost ancient technology, kind of gives the same vibes as like Zelda Breath of the Wild, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom with like the Zonai technology. So that's kind of like the genesis of this park idea. But anyways, in this episode, we're moving on from that kind of center hub area to build out the pirate area. As you can see, I am building out currently a pirate ship, which I'm going to wreck afterwards and make it a shipwreck. The funny thing is, as soon as I started building this pirate area is when when Frontier announced the pirate update that's coming this month now in June. So that was kind of ironic. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pirate-centric pieces that I could have used for some of the stuff that I've already built out, but that's all good. It's fun to kind of find pieces that aren't necessarily meant for a specific theme and then kind of like making it that theme. I feel like that's kind of like a fun process that I enjoy. So no harm there. It's just I'm in a holding pattern in terms of like how much I want to move forward with this area before seeing like what pieces I'll have available. Biggest things I'm hoping for are like the animatronics, because I don't think I can use the pieces that we currently have and build a pirate that actually looks like a pirate in this game. So hoping for some cool pirate animatronics to come. I've mentioned in a previous episode, I believe, that this is my first Planet Coaster game really, so I don't really have any familiarity with what pieces were available in the pirate theme pack in Planet Coaster 1. So this is any piece that we get is going to be kind of completely new to me, and I don't really know what to expect. So, and I've kind of avoided going and looking at what those pieces may be. I don't know why. I just kind of want to be surprised. I'm kind of taking this game as like a whole new experience, which obviously it is. But I kind of like that idea of being surprised when the update comes out. So planning wise, it's not really something that behooves this project or this part of the project, but again, I'm having fun finding pieces in the game that I can kind of manipulate to look like what I'm trying to build. And it's funny, when I started building this, I kind of thought it was going to take me a really long time, and I wasn't sure it was going to actually work, but it actually did not take me a long time. It was pretty straightforward to build once I got that kind of skeleton shape with the shipboard flooring there, and then just kind of maneuvered the ship planks around it. Again, I thought it was going to take me a while and be kind of a pain in the ass, but it ended up being pretty straightforward. I think in the end you guys will see it came out really good. I think you guys will agree, but let me know if you guys like it, if anything kind of stands out to you guys. Feedback is helpful. This was a fun build, and I really like how it came out, and I think it was exactly what I was looking for in terms of the centerpiece to this area. And kind of going forward, building rides, either one ride or a couple tracked rides, either like maybe like a coaster and a tracked ride around this centerpiece is what I'm looking for. You'll see later I kind of like build it into sort of the environment where, you know, I kind of have it coming out of these boulders, these rocks, this little island in the center lagoon, and then some waterfalls coming out of it. Again, it's kind of overtaken by nature, similar to how I had the entrance and the center hub area built out. Kind of same vibes there, which I think is going to be kind of like a common theming option I use for this park in every one of the regions, is like kind of like an overtaken by nature sort of vibe. Building a pirate area was something I knew I wanted to do. I think it's a pretty common theme for theme parks. I think it kind of lends itself to a lot of cool immersion. The ride theming, I think, could just naturally come from a lot of the general theming around the area. So I was pretty excited to start this area. I've also mentioned in the past that I'm a huge Animal Crossing player. That's where I kind of came from in terms of like doing YouTube stuff and starting to kind of dip my toe into that. And in that, the pirate theme in Animal Crossing was like my favorite DLC that they had in that game. And I did a lot of building with that. I actually have playlists on my channel if anyone is an Animal Crossing fan and interested in looking at those builds. I find the pirate theme very intriguing. Again, the immersion just kind of naturally flows with this sort of setting, I feel like. I don't know if anyone's seen the show Black Sails on Stars, but that's one of my favorite shows of all time. So I think I'm just really into pirates. Having the pirate ship coming out of this little island in part of the natural environment is something I knew I wanted to do before I started the build. So that's what I'm doing here, kind of centering this whole region around this lagoon type area. Eventually I'll build like a jungle in the background, kind of like as a natural border to the park, I guess. All right, so now I have kind of like the focus of the area built out. My next goal was to get the entrance built out. Before I started building out the rest of the area, I feel like I needed that border of where the park, or sorry, where the area of the park starts and where it ends. So building the entrance obviously was a big part of that. So and I wanted to be kind of like a natural flow. So you see me building out kind of like this ruin structure, an archway, and then eventually I'll build out like kind of like a cave that the path goes through to kind of seamlessly flow from this ruin overgrown area into the pirate region, and hopefully create that immersion for guests walking through to this next area of the park. And I also wanted to, again, with that pirate ship centerpiece, I wanted it not to be completely visible as you're walking into this region. I kind of want it to be like a big reveal type deal. Similar to how I have that Nexus tower from the entrance area into that center hub area where you kind of walk through the gates and it kind of comes into view. I wanted the same sort of thing to happen with this one, where you walk through these archways, you walk through what eventually will be this natural kind of cave structure, and as soon as you come out, you just are immediately hit with this cool pirate shipwreck in the distance where everything else kind of branches and feeds from. I'm really happy how this area has started out in terms of like sightlines and that feel that you get when you see the pirate ship. Obviously we'll see kind of like the final view at the end of this episode, but yeah, again, I'm really happy with how it came out, and I'm excited to keep building in this area and fleshing it out more. You can just see me kind of like getting back, or you can kind of see me here just getting the guest view and making sure everything is aligned properly for what I have in mind. I don't know if I go too heavy with, sometimes I think after I build something, I go too heavy with like the natural feel to the environment, and it kind of, I don't know how to explain it. So like when I see other people building parks, it actually looks great. Like it looks like intentional. The pathways they make sense, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. Not to say my pathways don't make sense, I just think my style right now, as I'm learning how to build theme parks in this game more and more as I go along, my style is to kind of like just go. And again, bringing up Animal Crossing in that influence that I have, that's kind of like where I'm coming from, where that was like you're on a deserted island and you kind of just build it out as if you're starting a civilization, or not a civilization, but like a community on this deserted island. So it lends itself to kind of like the natural infrastructure, I guess. I don't know if I'm explaining this as best as I could, but my point is that I think I could serve by being more intentional with how I'm doing the pathway and kind of how I want it, maybe planning out how I want the park or this area of the park to flow before I actually start building. So maybe in the next area I'll try to incorporate that more. But yeah, the people I see build out full theme parks in this game on other YouTubers, it's just like really well thought out and organized and flows, and the guest flow is just seamless. That's something I'm wanting to get better at. I'm just at this point where I'm just building as ideas come and kind of just letting it flow from there, and not really thinking too long and hard about it, and just kind of letting the feelings come out in the build, and whatever makes sense in the moment. It might not make sense in the long term, so maybe have to do a lot of adjusting after the fact, but I don't know. Right now I think it's working out so far. We'll see how it continues to develop as I build out the rest of this area and then the other areas. here's that cave structure I was referring to. It's going to kind of block the view, the sight line of the shipwreck before you actually get into the area. Again, I wanted it to be this sort of reveal as you walk through and be like, whoa, that's really cool. This is obviously a new region that I've just walked into, and that's the feel I wanted when building this out. And also it serves as kind of like a nice natural barrier between sections of the park, right? So I think it just made sense to have the ruins intertwined with the jungle, and then within the jungle this cave structure is kind of like built out, and that's how you get into this sunken bay is what I'm calling it. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Please leave a like, subscribe if you want to follow for more. I'm leaving you with a few finishing shots of this view, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one where we continue to build out this pirate area and build out maybe like a pirate town as you walk into this entrance. So thanks guys, I'll see you later. Bye.